sleeping. Good morning, sleeping. You got a big waddle on. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's cute. Let's hang out. Come on, your butt. Take it. When? You're so cute. Well, what do you think? Come here, let's see everybody. Should we, if I can see the, reverse. Oh, no, I know. Come here. Oh, strawberry. Drew. Oh, come here. How are you this morning? Oh, it's cold and rainy today. Oh, you're very cute. Hi. Cold and rainy. How are you? Hello. Very cute. Good morning, babies. How are babies? So I'm going to get her some hi hugs for me. That's so nice. So nice. Oh, I know. You're so cute. Where are you going? Hello. Hi. Hello. Are you going to leave a tapeworm trail on me? You can if you want to. Yes. Hi. You're so cute. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold relative to the 100 degrees it's been. Now it's like in the 60s. So not like overall cold. A nice break from the sweltering heat. Hi. So let's see. Let's say good morning to the babies, shall we? Oh, and I can measure your belly circumference. I should do that. I should get a tape measure because somebody who I don't know who was nice enough to send the oh my goodness. Oh, hi. So much love. So much love to give. Oh, so much drool to give to, huh? Oh, so much. Your situation looks better back there today. Let me get a tape measure. We'll do belly circumference. Hi. No. Come here. Come here. Should we see how big your belly is? This is a little bit difficult because. All right, she's at 18 inches right now. how that compares. Oh, hi, hi, hi. Oh, look how cute. She loves to give hugs. Mm-hmm. Oh, are you going to get your catnip now? That's a good idea. She gets into the catnip. Yes, she does. So today is the 26th. I don't weigh her yet. So Dorothy was 18 inches at day 55 and weighed 9.23 pounds. So Tip weighs more and has a smaller belly than Dorothy. Yeah. Dorothy's a pretty small cat though. She is a pretty small cat. Let's see if we can feel anyone moving around in there. Where are you going? Oh, snack time? So you do some breakfast? We can get her some more breakfast. Here you go. More breath. Wow, that was a little embarrassing. It was a little embarrassing. Here you go. That's food for you. I'm not sure what happened. Even except that my laptop got smooshed. There you can see her tail. Good. What else? Oh yeah. Oh, it's hard to adjust when I'm getting bumped. Bumped. So cute. Oh, so adorable. Oh, look at these kids. Oh, no. Ready for an escape. All right, let's see. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're so cute. Her butt. Close up of her butt. Hi. So let's see what else is exciting. We had some belly vision yesterday over here. Hi. We also had some tapeworms. So she was dewormed on Saturday, last Saturday. So I talked to Dr. Ferguson about deworming her early because we had her on the schedule for next Saturday to get dewormed again. But that's typically we do every 2 weeks, just to coincide with the cycle of worms. And she said I could do it on Monday. So we'll use something called Profender, which is safe for pregnant moms and kills tapeworms. The first thing we do is Revolution, and that is also safe for pregnant moms. And that does fleas and ear mites and roundworms, and not tapeworms. But the fleas are probably the most important thing to kill. And then we do deworming for the tapeworms in the next round. So since I saw there were many, many segments last night, not as many this morning, they come in like bursts sometimes. So that will happen tomorrow. And what else? What else? She's having a little round 2 breakfast. Hi, how are those babies? Skull and skull. I have a skull on each side. 1. What? But I just count babies. Here, come here. Oh, come here. Let's see. Come here. Come here. Oh, aren't you cute? Aren't you cute? How about a little floppage? Little floppage. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Hi. I'm petting your kittens. Come over here. Oh, she was okay with belly massage last night. Yes. Look, oh, look. Oh, such a good girl. Oh, such a good girl. Hi. Oh, there's a skull. Let's see if I can feel 2 again. Oh, can we try this side now? It's easier when she's standing up. Oh, so much squirming. Okay, here's a skull. Where are you going? What do you think? Oh, belly gosh. What a good girl. Oh, such a lovely cat, aren't you? Aren't you a delight? Just a delight. Alright, so this is baby one. And I think good morning, babies. They're pretty quiet right now. Oh, there you are. Got one little kick. You're such a good girl. She likes her belly rub. Oh, it's such a glorious day. Oh, hello. There's a skull right in the middle. So it's hard to say. I thought I felt two on each side yesterday, and then there may be like one in the middle. But I will shoot for X-ray toward the end of the week, I think. And then we will know. Hopefully. One there, one there. Oh, where are you going? Oh, must flop. Look at that belly. Oh, she's so adorable. So adorable. Maybe your future mommy or daddy are watching. That would be nice. Tapeworms are not great for the development of the baby, certainly because they rob the body of nutrition. So we do like to get rid of them as expeditiously as possible. Just like any of the parasites. Pretty much every cat that has babies in the wild, or barn cat or whatever, will have roundworm, tapeworm, all sorts of stuff that they pass on to their babies. So certainly they'll be born healthier if we do some good deworming before they're born. What do you do? Oh no. I tried to Velcro. I need to rethink my tripod solution, obviously. Cisco is due any minute now. I would expect babies. Tip has longer to go, I think. Babies feel smaller, and well, I haven't felt Cisco. All I've done is seen how big her belly is. So really, I have no way to say for sure. But we have seen some light contractions in the last couple of days with Cisco. Tip still has room to grow, and we've seen a little bit of baby movement starting yesterday. So I would say that puts us in, I don't know, the 8 to 10 day range, possibly, with Tip. I'm going to take her in, because I can't take Cisco, obviously, for x-rays, but I can take Tip. And so I'm waiting. I want to wait and make sure the babies are big enough so that we can clearly see them. You're very cute. You're very cute, aren't you? Oh, so cute. So cute. Oh, so many biscuits. Cisco, Mila, I don't think Mila's pregnant. I think she just has kind of saggy belly and stuff. I don't think she is pregnant, but I am going to keep her around until just for a couple more days to make sure, and also probably until Cisco has her babies, because Cisco does seem calmer with Mila there. And so until Cisco has babies to look after, I think that she likes having Mila around. But I'm not going to keep Mila there the whole time, just because Mila obviously is ready to return. And so oh, look at that belly. Look at that belly. So we have a tiny bit of baby movement up here. I don't know if you can see that. Just very tiny. A little shifting. Yes. I don't think that moving Rose in would be beneficial. Oh yeah, she will definitely get spayed. Absolutely. Yeah, we would never release anyone back with their uterus intact. Rose actually appears to have some potential for socializing. So there's a clear difference between Rose and like Cisco and Mila and Sloane. And so I think it would be beneficial for her to be able to have more human contact. And because I have to limit my contact with Cisco, I think that we would potentially lose the opportunity to socialize Rose if she was put in with Cisco. Plus, the property owner said that Rose has sometimes shown aggression toward other cats. So we're not sure if we're going to put another cat in with her. It might also get in the way of her socialization if she has another cat to hang out with. So that's my opinion. But the property owner did say that she had been handled when she was little, and then she went kind of off with her wild friends for a while, and then she got pregnant the first time and came back once she was pregnant, and so that she lets them pet her. And then after she had her babies last time, she left, and then she got pregnant again and came back. And so it did sound to me, from what he was saying, that she does have some potential to be adoptable. So, and I know that she did eat a can of food out of Kayla's hand the other day, yesterday I think it was. So all that. And when we did intake on her, she was kind of talking to us as opposed to hissing at us. She was clearly scared, but she was not aggressive. So I think there's some good potential there, and corroborated by the property owner who knows that she had human contact. So that makes all the difference in the world. And so I suspect that putting another feral mom with Rose would be detrimental to her socialization. And I think that she needs to have lots of human contact. And so probably would not be ideal to put her with Cisco. So we shall see. As long as we can keep getting adopters that are willing to take, special needs cats, we will certainly do the best we can with them. But you can see there's a clear difference between Rose and, I can tell there's a clear difference between Rose and Cisco and Mila and Sloane. Although Cisco and Mila, they're very fearful, but they haven't been aggressive toward me yet, which is good. I suspect when babies come, that may change. But for now, at least, it would have been nice to have 2 pregnant cats. The hope was to have two pregnant cats from the same colony together that were kind of due around the same time. I'm still like going for that. Like the next batch, I'm hoping now that we have permission to start our second feeding station, that next time I can bring in 2 and do a little bit more planning, and hopefully it will be cats that I know, because it's definitely challenging and higher risk if you don't know the cat. So, and I didn't know Cisco, and I had never seen Mila before, so it's good that Mila got trapped, because it's unlikely that I would have had that opportunity again. So if you want to see Cisco and Mila, they are at tinykittens.com/feralcam, FERALCAM, feral, like feral cat, feralcam. You can see them. Cisco is going to have her babies soon, hopefully any minute/day now. The remote operated traps are amazing. They're awesome. That is how we got the 4 kittens. What was it, last week? Who who are doing very well, by the way. Yes, I will eventually change the pictures around when I have a chance to do that. Cisco's not going to have her babies on the shelf. So it's pouring rain today, which we need, but I think it's supposed to clear up this afternoon. So we're either going to set up the feeding station today or tomorrow. There's not really any point in setting it up in the rain because cats usually don't really come out in the rain. I think the weather's going to be pretty good this week. Oh yeah, thank you to everybody who donated. I could not believe it when I logged into my account, seeing how many donations there were, and so thank you guys so much. I don't know what the total is because I have to like actually download it and stuff, but there were quite a few donations, and it's so cool that to see lots of little donations add up to something that actually will do quite a bit of good. So hopefully we'll be able to get quite a few spades and neuters done. I don't have an idea of how much was raised yet, but I think it was close to $1,000, which is pretty amazing. So that's like, you know, lots. That's like maybe 7 spades and neuters and some food and revolution and stuff. I mean, that's huge for us. So that would maybe take care of our first week of at the new feeding station. So thank you so much to whoever came up with that idea. And I know Ginger was pushing it, and a couple of other people, well, a bunch of you were pushing it, and I know a bunch of you donated. You can go to tinykittens.com/donate and donate. The money goes directly toward our TNR program and the care of Cisco and her babies, and which adds up pretty quickly, but oh, the belly feels warm. I wonder if I can take a picture of it. But every dollar counts, every dollar helps, and I love like just how supportive you guys are, and how it's so cool to see, you know, one person's $3 and one person's $5 and, you know, one person's $50 all adds up to something that does so much good and helps us out so much. So thank you. Thank you. A million times. I really appreciate it, and I can't say too many times how what we do would not be possible if we didn't have such a great community. So Tiny Kittens people are the best, and this community is pretty awesome, and you guys have done amazing things for cats. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really mean it. I mean, I don't know. There would be no Tiny Kittens without you guys, so. And even if you can't afford to donate, just being part of the chat and being part of the community, and, you know, being enthusiastic and spreading the word about spaying and neutering and sharing our posts on Facebook and Twitter and all the things that everyone contributes in whatever way they can, and that's really everyone's contributions are important and make us able to do what we do. So, oh, ow, ow, oh, ferocious. Tip has all the toys right now. She's gonna hatch them. Yeah. Tip is DreamWorks themed. A couple of awesome people at DreamWorks started watching, I think, during the Sesame Street Kittens, and they are now going to sponsor Tip and the DreamWorks Kittens, which is super cool, and they're sending a care package. Oh, the meeting with the Catio guy went great. He's going to send some designs and did some measurements and stuff. It's going to be. He was thinking tunnels and tubes and perches would be the best thing to try first. And we're going to start with the feral room. And I think that will be super cool. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with. So we will do a naming rights contest for Tip's Kittens. And I will, oh, look, we've got some belly vision. Can you guys see the belly vision? Oh, babies, they're moving. They're moving. They're very cute. They look very cute. You definitely need to use a proper tripod. So I will announce the catio is here. Laps already has great indoor-outdoor space, and they have frontage on kind of a busy road, so they're limited to. It gets really noisy, so they can't use some of their space, but they have some good space on the other side of where the ice oasis will be. So this is for here. So I'm hoping that I can keep tiny kittens over here. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, and potentially move upstairs so that it's not so noisy. And the floors up there are not as much carpet. So the way we do naming rights, well, I'll do a post announcing the contest. The way we usually do it, though, is if you make a donation, whoever donates the most will get naming rights. Whoever does the biggest donation, and then if we get more than 100 people who donate any amount, then we'll do a random draw from everybody who donated, and that person will get naming rights, so that you don't have to donate. You can donate $2 or $200, and you still will have a chance. And that helps. That money goes toward spades and neuters and taking care of the cats and kittens and that's one of the ways we pay for the expenses, and then we also have a little bit of a fund for extra things like roads when he needed his eyeball removed. And we had another kitten at the colony who had a heart murmur and needed an ultrasound. And typically, those things are not part of the budget, but because but Tiny Kittens has been able to set aside a little bit of a fund for those situations, which to me are kind of life or death, right? Because we would never want to send Rhodes back with his eye not fixed, right? Because he would just be in pain forever, and it would not be humane for him. So because we were able to pay to get his eye fixed, now he gets to live out his life and not worry about fighting for territory or making babies, and he doesn't have to be in pain constantly. So, and the little ultrasound kitten actually, he had what they thought was a pretty severe murmur, and then on the ultrasound, it looked much better than they had thought without the ultrasound. So his prognosis again would have been, it appeared to be the kindest thing to do to euthanize, but because we were able to pay for the ultrasound, he is now adopted and doing great. So, so any that's the kind of thing that your donations make possible, and that's one of the things that Tiny Kittens, I think, it's one of our purposes at Tiny Kittens to be able to do stuff like that isn't part of like, when you have a bigger organization like LAX, you've got so many responsibilities and so many places that you have to allocate money. You have to use your money. You have to be really careful about making those kinds of decisions. So when a $500, eye surgery comes up, or like a $500 ultrasound is required and it's not part of the budget, it's something that then I can step in and say, well, Tiny Kittens will pay for it. And then so far we've had some good outcomes. Tip, tip, tip. She's having a little cat tree bath. So we'll be moving right across the street, which is nice. So we won't be. I'll still be close enough to run back and forth all the time, but yeah, and definitely your local shelters need your help, volunteering and donations and all of that too. So totally, it's totally awesome to support your local shelter too. We have no cat-related bylaws here at all. I know, a cat tunnel from our house here would be awesome. Yes, I do follow Beth Stern. Yep. She's a great voice for the animals. That would be awesome if you could get her attention for tiny kittens. That would be amazing. Why I think Mila isn't pregnant, she's not getting bigger, and her shape doesn't look to me like typical pregnant. It looks like we have a bunch of the female feral cats at the colony that they're just pregnant all the time, and because their bodies never really have a chance to recover between pregnancies, they start looking pregnant all the time. So they're just a little bit flabbier, and kind of like their nipples seem more distended, and but it's kind of they just look that way all the time. And then you'll eventually notice them getting bigger, and then they're small and like floppy again, and then they're bigger, and then it's just because they're pregnant so much. They have kind of a different shape. So I've been trying to look and see if, she looks like she's got the roundness like Tip does. Tip does not have that kind of saggy milkbar area. And she's kind of round and firm in the middle. And so often only, the cats at the colony, the young ones still look like that. But they do tend to get kind of stretched out, and so it's hard to tell. So that's why initially, and I know that you guys have seen from certain angles, she does look like she definitely could be pregnant, but she's not getting bigger. And I've seen now, because I can see multiple views of the room, like when you're seeing the room view, I can see the Mila in the bin and stuff also. So I've been able to observe pretty closely. I don't see any movement in there, and she hasn't been growing, and her shape hasn't really been changing. And that's kind of what I would be looking for, because it's been about a week. Yeah, so it is ultimately a good thing that she is not pregnant. I'm about 90% sure at this point. I'm still going to give her a couple days, and I don't want to disrupt Cisco by taking her away now, because I think Cisco does find some comfort in having her there. If you notice, when I come in the room and she gets scared, she goes into Mila's bin with her. So even though she doesn't want Mila, bugging her all the time, I think she does find comfort having her there. So I'm not going to take her away until after the babies are born, and because I think that would be stressful for Cisco. But I will probably take her away pretty quickly after. It will also depend on if there's interaction at that point. We've never done this before. We've never had two cats in the same area during birth, but it definitely happens at the colony. So trying to replicate the colony feel as much as possible to reduce stress as much as possible. And I do think it's been successful. And I do think if they were both pregnant, I think that would be probably the ideal situation. So the ideal situation from a stress level perspective, not from a unwanted kittens being born perspective, but so that's kind of my plan at this point. Is Cisco should have babies in anytime now, and then I will try not to interfere during the first day or two, depending on how she does with the babies. And then I will try to
I'll have to come up with a plan to catch Mila as gently as possible. And I have some thoughts on how to do that, but I haven't quite determined the overall plan yet. So, and she's also been, Mila has been dewormed and has been eating different food, and she's had kind of more diarrhea-ish poop in the poor fern plant is where she likes to poop. And so that also could certainly account for a change in shape of her being like, she seems like she's a little bit smaller even. So certainly worms cause bloating and can make them look pregnant also if they have lots of worms, which they definitely do. So that's kind of the scoop. No, it's not harmful for Cisco to be jumping. She wouldn't be jumping if she couldn't make it up there. She doesn't have to jump that far. Yeah, the remote trigger should work through walls. That's one of the possibilities. I'm not sure that she will go into the trap for food, and I would have to take away the other food in the room, and they don't come out like when I put new food out, they don't come out, like Sloaney would come out within 20, 30 minutes of me putting food out and eat. Neither Cisco nor Mila really does that. They wait till they're sure the coast is clear and then they come out. So I don't know if that would work. And I wouldn't want to deprive Cisco of food. But if there's a way for me to I think probably I'll end up using the easy nabber. I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it. Just go in and scoop her wherever she is, if I can get to her. So it could take a few tries, but that's the plan, something like that. So Mila's yowling, I think it's just a sign of her of stress. I do not think that she's in heat. There would be a different kind of yowling and behavior associated with that. I think it's just it's something that Sloaney did. It's something that Cisco does occasionally, and Mila, I think, is more stressed by confinement than Cisco is. Cisco has had nice, consistent poop, which is an indicator of stress, or poop. The condition of the poop, I should say, so far has been an indicator of stress. So the fact that Mila's having diarrhea tells me that she's experiencing more stress by captivity than Cisco is. And her behavior would seem to corroborate that. So I think she will be quite happy being spayed and returned as soon as we can do that. Yeah, it probably won't be as easy as just scooping her, right? I don't know that she would settle down eventually. I mean, I guess, yes, eventually, months and months, maybe she would settle down. She would give up, I guess, on wanting to go home. I think that typically, depending on their personality, you get like the amount of settling you're going to get within the first week or two. Like we saw Cisco, I think it took Cisco about a week to get to her current level, and then she's been improving a little bit, but I think it took her about a week to get like, you know, comfortable enough to eat when she's hungry, go to the bathroom when she needs to go, and all that stuff, to explore the room a little bit. Sloane adjusted pretty quickly in a couple of days. So, I mean, Mila, I think, is as feral as they come, and she's scared all the time. So, keeping her in a state of fear, eventually, I'm sure she would become exhausted from being afraid all the time, and just shut down. But I don't think she would ever really accept captivity as a pleasant thing. Yep, I am using Feel Away, and I have some stuff that Constance sent me, and then I have some more stuff that Sam sent me that has not arrived yet, to kind of help calming essences. Yeah, stress is definitely a significant contributor to illness, for sure. So that's one of the reasons that keeping the stress level as low as possible is critical. Tips, tapeworm issue will be addressed tomorrow. Ideally, you want to go 10 to 14 days between deworming, because that's the kind of the life cycle of the worms. So to get the most good out of it. So it'll be 9 days, I think, tomorrow. No, I can't drug Mila because there's a risk that Cisco would eat the drugged food, and it would be very harmful to her babies, so I can't risk that. Tip will be x-rayed, probably later this week. Oh, that's awesome, Sam. That Cat Fairy donated another bottle to go with what she bought, because it is pricey. Worms do rob the body of nutrition, and they do have an effect on the immune system. So certainly they are detrimental to mom and babies. So that's why we start deworming immediately on intake, and then every 2 weeks thereafter. So we are pretty aggressive about deworming. And we just have to be careful to use products that are safe for pregnant cats and for babies. And as long as they're getting plenty of good quality nutrition, you know, it's hard to have to wait 2 weeks in between, but that's what's best. That's what's best to do. But I'm going to do her on Monday, so that'll be a few days early, but actually just 1 day early. So Dr. Ferguson thought that was fine. Thank you, Charlotte. The palindromes are wonderful, and they are doing well. I heard from Linda that Pip and Cyrus are doing great. They have another appointment tomorrow, so that's good. Thank you, Justy. A calming collar, I don't think I can get that on them. And I don't know if it's I don't know. I would have to check with Dr. Ferguson if that would be. I know feel-away makes a collar, but I do have a feel-away diffuser going in the room, so it's basically the same thing. Yes, happy forests are doing well too. Thank you, Amelia. I appreciate you guys because I couldn't do this without your support. So, really, you should be thanking yourself because yeah, it is possible to tame some feral cats. But the majority of them is very difficult and time consuming. And if you can't find someone who will make the commitment to them before they're tame, then it's pretty difficult. So typically, if you get a feral cat and they're like 12 weeks and up, they say is pretty much almost impossible. Not impossible, but almost impossible, and takes months, if not years, to do. So if you put them in foster, let's say it takes a year. So if you put them in foster for a year, they bond with their primary caregiver. It's a different kind of thing that happens, I guess. So they bond with their primary caregiver, and then they have to go back to the shelter and wait for an adopter. And when they get back to the shelter, all the work that was done with them, getting them to trust and all of that is undone, essentially, and they will revert to some degree to their feral ways again. And it's really hard. It's just really hard on them. And then it's really unlikely to get an adopter. So what we like to do is if we had someone who was willing to foster to adopt, that would be ideal. And then they would work with the cat and, try to get them tame. And then the cat wouldn't have to go through the stress of, losing the one person they had bonded with and then having to try to start over again with someone else. And we also have a really hard time finding those people. So every time we do take semi-feral cats in, it's a gamble whether we'll be able to find them a home. And so we do our best. We do have the 4 13-week-old kittens that came in. They're probably 14 or 15 weeks now, and 2 of them are doing pretty well, and I think the other 2 have shown some progress, but we'll need 2 to 4 very special homes that are willing to adopt kittens that are half-grown kittens that are not super snuggly lap cats, which is what most people want. So we have to look at kind of the long-term result. We know that they're happy and fed and have shelter at the colony, and they have bonded friends and family there. So we know that even though we want them to be happy in a home, if it's going to take years for them to become happy in a home, or if we know they're going to sit at the shelter for months waiting for someone and they're going to be stressed and scared the whole time, we have to kind of make a difficult call on what's the most compassionate outcome for that particular cat, right? So it's not always easy, but we do assess each individual cat, and we do our best to find them homes. Like for Doe had been spayed, and they called and were hoping that, they were thinking that they should just release her because she wasn't doing very well at the shelter. And so then we thought, well, let's give it a try and give her, as long as we can. We'll wait as long as we can, try really hard to find her home. And then we did find an amazing home, and just the exact perfect right home for her. So We didn't have to return her, and we were all super happy about that. So that's what we aim for, but it's pretty tough to make that happen, but we do try. Anyway, that's a really long answer. I apologize, T-Dust, because you're CCing and then talk fast. Yeah, I mean, it takes a long time and a lot of consistency, and it's really like the best thing is for whoever works with them from the beginning to be the person that adopts them. So, if we can find adopters that understand that they're semi-feral and will need patience and love, and that they may not get the kind of love in return that you traditionally expect from a cat, then that's awesome. We just don't. There are not very many of those people out there, but hopefully through broadcasting Cisco and getting to know some of our feral cats, hopefully maybe more people will become willing to take that on. So that would be really awesome. Yeah, it's true. There are lots of non-feral cats. Like Tip will be looking for a home too. She is pretty sweet and wonderful. Pretty wonderful. Looks like the rain is letting up out there, which is kind of cool. Although we do need rain, but pondering what to do next. Is Cisco still in the closet? She did not have her breakfast yet either. Let's see, where's Mila? There's Mila. There's Mila right there. I can see what I see. I thought I have different cameras and then I can check on them. There's Mila, having a little conversation. Yep, Mila's definitely. So Mila had the worst trapping experience of all of them. She was the most stressed by the trapping. And she has seemed the most stressed of the three so far. But you can see how she kind of follows Cisco around, so it's been good for her. I think if it had just been her, I think it would have been much more stressful. And you can see how she's exhibiting very typical feral cat behavior with her chewing cords and trashing the room in different ways every night, and all of those things that she's doing because she's scared and she doesn't want to be inside anymore. She doesn't want to be at Tiny Kittens HQ. She wants to be in her forest. They're friends. So hopefully I can make that happen for her this week. So anyway, thanks for watching and listening to me ramble. I'm going to We don't have folding chairs at the feeding stations. We will like sit on logs and stuff, or like hide behind trees. We're very stealthy until the spiders get us. Then we're not stealthy at all. Yep, I've heard that male ferals are easier to tame, and certainly each cat is an individual, right? So they each have their own personality, and as we've seen with Sloane, Cisco, and Mila are all very different personalities, and so it would be easier or harder to for them to come around based on their personality, how confident they are, how aggressive they are, how stressed they are. All of those things factor in for sure. And then really the how dedicated their caretaker is to working with them. So it is possible. And we do try our best for sure. So it'll be neat to see how if Rosie comes around at all. So tapeworms require an intermediate host. So it is unlikely that my cats would catch tapeworms from Tip. They would have to like eat a flea that had ingested tapeworm eggs and had tapeworm larvae inside. So just by eating the eggs is not how they get infected. They get infected through an intermediary host. So, but I do deworm my cats regularly and keep them vaccinated and everything because they are exposed to things. As much as I try to practice good containment hygiene, it's not. I mean, it's impossible to completely contain everything, right? So. Yeah, super excited about the new feeding station, and we will share as much as we can. We have basically two. We've gotten permission just for me and Kim initially, and I have to be a little bit careful about what we post. So, but we will definitely try to get as much. I'm really excited to meet the cats over there and see how much overlap there is with the cats on the other side, and should be fun. So let's see. Yeah, and they can get tapeworms also from like if they eat a mouse or a bird or something. And you never know if you pet a cat outside and a flea jumps on you and you bring it home. I mean, that stuff happens. They say that houseflies also can bring in various parasites So that is why I'm trying to figure out how to keep flies from coming in here. If I can move upstairs, that would solve that problem, so that would be good. But we'll see. So this is the house that, so if any of you were watching like during the dancing kittens, which I guess was like 2 summers ago, I don't know, it's been a while. We moved and had bought a house that flooded, and we were working on renovating the house to fix the flooding stuff, and then we just kept finding more and more stuff that was damaged, and so it became like the longest renovation ever. So then we moved to our last house, and then we moved to this house, and now our house is right across the street from here, so it's almost done. It'll be done hopefully in a couple of weeks, and so the humans will be moving over there, and the teens will be moving over there, and I'm hoping to be able to stay here, to keep Tiny Kittens HQ here. And then we would live it's literally right across the street. So it would be nice for us because there are always people coming by dropping things off, and there's just like piles of cat boxes everywhere, and it's kind of taken over everything. So it would be nice if we can sort of have a little more space here, and then I think that will be good, right? Pip agrees. And no carpet. A couple of rooms without carpet would be nice too. So that's the scoop.